Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending from where you are joining us here today. Thank you so much for joining today's session on Microsoft Copilot Studio Masterclass Future of AI Agents. We will be beginning this session very shortly, but before that, I'll just quickly introduce about what today's topic is all about and our trainer who is going to be guiding us through the content today. Today's session will explore how Microsoft Copilot Studio is enabling organizations to move beyond traditional automation and build intelligent AI agents that can execute tasks, streamline workflows, and operate autonomously. You will learn how to design, customize, and deploy agents using natural language and low code capabilities while integrating them with your business data and systems. This session will also highlight real world use cases, agent workflows, and deployment strategies, showing how organizations are leveraging AI agents to improve efficiency, reduce manual effort, and scale operations within a secure, enterprise ready environment. In addition, participants will get guidance on effectively preparing for the PL 7008 certification course and the exam in today's session. Presenting today's topic is one of our top trainers, Ronald, who is the founder of US Computer Support and a dynamic educator specializing in AI, Microsoft 365 Copilot, security, and governance. As a Microsoft certified Azure AI fundamentals professional, he helps organizations adopt Copilot securely through effective prompting, data readiness, and compliance best practices backed by experience from the US Army and aerospace industry. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Ronald. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name again is Ronald Clanton. I am honored to be representing for Netcom Learning. I've worked with them for years, and they are an amazing worldwide and global entity. Please pay close attention as I present the Microsoft Copilot Studio Masterclass, Future of AI Agents. Let's get started. Give you a little bit about me. As he indicated, I am the founder of US Computer Support, and what has helped me to actually build my own company was the opportunities that Netcom Learning gave me to be able to enhance and to give me that global reach to be able to speak to different people from around the world and to give me a more robust and rich understanding of how technology affects our whole world from a global standpoint and not just from one national place or for the last decade I've been mainly training military veterans and a few others in the DoD space. I have several certifications, over 60 certifications, and I have a degree in cybersecurity engineering. And again, with the help of Netcom Learning and all that I've been able to build from there, and even the AI certs that I've been able to attain. All right, let's get going because I want you to get the same thing and that true understanding of how this next industrial revolution is working and to be able to implement the Microsoft agents, the artificial intelligence agents that you truly need to push forward and to be successful in this day and age. Our agenda, introduction to AI agents in Microsoft Copilot Studio. Copilot. I say in several webinars, I absolutely love the name Copilot. Next, agent design for business use cases. Building and validating AI agents. Workflow automation and deployment strategies. And last but not least, Q&A and next steps with the instructor. Learning these things, implementing these things, making sure that you have this precise training which will enhance your business, but also from a personal standpoint, enhance your career. This is what we utilized in this day and age right now. You can have all the learning, all this training, and these certifications, but having the understanding of how to utilize these tools is a must have now in order to be to provide all the essential needs for your organization. This is how business works. This is how our lives work. Now, a Copilot for every Microsoft Cloud experience. So, our Copilot for the Dynamic 365, Copilot to assist roles within each line of business applications. So, across the board, being able to have that aggregated understanding, that aggregated feel, and that aggregated tool to be able to precisely go throughout your company, throughout too many times companies were siloed. With this tool and learning how to utilize this tool, it makes things so much more efficient. Let's go with Microsoft 365 Copilot. The Copilot Assistant to accelerate productivity with Microsoft 365 apps and chat with your data. Being able to communicate with your data. Instead of having that data as more like that inanimate object that sits there, you read through and you sift through. Now the data is in a way brought to life to give you the ability to go through, to enhance it, to not just have it from if some of you that are listening, we know about how the tables and columns, but being able to have that dynamic ability to extract information as you need it in a live and real and ready format so that you can continue to move forward and not have to stop research, search for this, search for that, but you have it in an agile aspect. Copilot for Windows. Get answers and inspiration from across the web. Supports creativity and collaboration and helps you focus on the task. If you've been in IT as long as I've been or longer, or even if you're new, you know one of the most frustrating things is having to take that time to go back and look at something else, or as you're proceeding along, later on learning that something was missed or something was skipped over. With this, everything that is tied into whatever project that you're working, you can have all of that information at your fingertips and also present it to you to make sure that you did not miss anything, that you have that co-pilot, that tool, that almost that technological friend to provide you with all of the intelligence that you need to move forward. As I said, I am prior military, so sometimes some of my jargon may fall into that purview of military speak to say. But I hope that you understand and also can feel the passion that I have and how much I love having this tool available for the world to be able to use and to make us go forward in the future of technology. Copilot for Power Platform. Use natural language. I'm right up here. Use natural language to accelerate the development of apps, automations, and pages. Yes, those developers, those web, to having that connection between there. The natural language that you have, and some of the times, some of the things that we have to look at is we can have those improper prompts. We can have things that go the computer, the machine language, the artificial intelligence will do what you want it to do, but it needs to be able to understand what you want in the same instance. So what Microsoft has done is work work tirelessly to make sure that whatever way that you present it, whether it's a short form or a long prompt or what, however you're trying to communicate with the information, that it can understand it as best possible and present to you the information that you naturally need for your development of your apps. Automation, automation, automation. What is one of the key things for having this robust tool is the automation saves so much time, so much rework, and helps the company save money. What's the foundation of business? Making money, right? And making money, the more time that you spend, the more time that you have to rework, the more time that you have to put, the more resources that you have to put towards a certain project costs the company a lot of money. And let's look at it from the other aspect as the workforce. How much frustration have you felt from having to do added tasks, from having to redo things? Makes it a lot more. The psychological aspects of having Copilot just in itself makes things a lot more relaxing. Take a look at the research from there and just think about it from that aspect to have that right there and not having to go back and look, but you have that person looking over your shoulder. As we say in the military, someone who has your six. All right, the co-pilot for security. I am a cybersecurity person, obviously. I've been teaching cybersecurity and high different variations of cybersecurity for years. Receive tailored insights that empower your team to defend. One thing that I've been teaching for years is you're only as strong as your weakest link. With this having the co-pilot for security, a lot of times in businesses, what we used to have is, oh, the security was for these guys or these men and women in this section, but that's not our responsibility. With Copilot for Security, this gives you a holistic approach to cybersecurity across your landscape. So if someone else is accessing this, this will also be able to provide that same security and provide a wide range, and your whole your whole organization or everyone on that particular project, everything is covered with that, with the cybersecurity. GitHub Copilot. Don't we love GitHub? Increase developer productivity by helping you write code faster with less work. If you've been on the planet Earth, you know and you see technology and IT, you have seen all of the promotions for being able to write tech, being able to write code faster, more efficiently, more smoothly, and how AI has came into the fold to make things much better and to be that coding partner for you. Now, co-pilots, agents, conversational AI. I have always loved this. I've been a proponent of AI for years before technology. In the 80s, I was promoting AI, obviously making sure though, and I always have felt we have to have that oversight. So the human interaction. But that conversational AI to be able to talk with, to be able to move forward, not to have to just sit there and type something in. So Microsoft 365, the conversational experiences for Microsoft 365, we look at the bot framework and SDK that we have built into there, plus Biz apps and Power Copilots, conversational experiences for D365 and the Power products, Copilot for sales. In order to move our things, every company, well, let's just say most companies, there's a sales department. How do you move your products and your services? There has to be a sales department. And let's face it, sales have become much more harder and much more complex. You have to have that and that tool, that strength to make sure that you're competitive with everyone else or even able to excel your company and what you have to provide for everyone. Attention spans are short. What is the gains that are built into there, and you have to be able to have these tools that give you a granular effect to make sure that none of those fine tune things, those finite things that you would probably miss. Copilot for service. How can you make your service more efficient? How can it move much better? What are you missing that your competitor is achieving with? How do you match it or how do you beat your competitor? Copilot for Power Platform, making sure that you have that and that your foundation, everything is built on a foundation. A house needs a foundation. A business has to have a foundation to it. Now we'll look at the bot service channels, Azure AI Foundry, which I absolutely love. When I'm doing these webinars and I speak on that and the new tools that have came apart and the evolution of how this whole process with Copilot has been built and has been rapidly moving forward for all of businesses. And when I go out and I'm consulting businesses, one of the things that I see, and this is not some propaganda platform or anything, this is me in pure sincerity. Those companies that are not using the Copilot to help their businesses, it seems like something almost from an age. It's more nostalgic, and a pity for them how they're struggling to try to get this and there, and you see them hemorrhaging money from their company. Adding this into your company, adding qualified, trained professionals in your company changes so many things, and it's amazing to see the transformation until when you first initially let people know, okay, you have to have this, this is why you should have this, this is who you have, this is what people are using nowadays. I've been around long enough to when the internet was introduced to people, I'm like, hey, you need to start using the internet for business. Why should we do this and have this now? In this day and age, we wouldn't even think about who is not using the internet for their business or computers for their businesses. This is the same evolution that I have experienced, and now this is Copilot bringing this into your business. You know about the internet. You have been utilizing computers, cell phones, all of that technology. Now this is this now. That same experience is what we're going through right now. Other Microsoft Copilots, as we again, Azure AI services, Power Platform connectors, and plus the custom agents, customizing your systems to make it more efficient, more refined for your company, more refined for you to be able to do your job much, much better. Custom agents and bots for enterprises and third parties. Custom enterprise agents, the AI builder. Keep this in mind. If you are taking notes right now and you're looking for it and you are just the more a lot of times when you listen to something, there are certain keywords or certain subjects that you need to make sure that they resonate. The AI builder is the key right now. You can go to whether it's social media, webinars, platforms, learning sessions, master classes. That keyword is one of the main things that you better have in your repertoire to make sure that you are moving efficiently and at the that you're keeping pace when we're when it's in the military, when you're running and that formation, that everyone is in sync, and then that you can move more rapidly and double time. What is Copilot Studio? Choosing a development tool, low code development tool for creating agents using Power Automate and extending Microsoft 365 Copilot. Fully managed host software as a service. Software as a service, you have that. It is built in. We understand our cloud structures, right? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service makes the world go round. Dialogue and conversational orchestration. We have that, the dialogue, the orchestration of how you're able. You have this subject matter here that is from this department. You have the other information that you have here that is going on. How does this help you complete the mission? How does this help you to make sure that what you're trying to accomplish is good? In cybersecurity, for instance, right? One of the things that we have to do is when we're making changes, we have to make sure that everyone knows, because we don't know how this affects this department or this affects this department from any changes. Let's think about quite recently, right? We went from Windows 10 to Windows 11. How would that have affected with other departments to be able to do what they need to do? It would have been disastrous without everyone knowing there were certain softwares that ran specifically on this or that. So you have to have the orchestration to be able to move. That particular word, orchestration, means that those are a group of people, products, services, or something that is working cohesively to make sure that it can execute and give you that precise or the best possible outcome. Built in analytics with security and governance control. Governance controls. How often have I seen companies, they're moving, they're going, but they are not in compliance, and all of a sudden here comes the fines, contracts are lost, they're not moving efficiently as they should. They can't do this because there was something that they did not adhere to, and now that just stops everything. There has to be corrections that have to be built into this their workflow system now, and that has destroyed their ability to do what they need to do. Making sure that the analytics, that as you're moving, that it is in real time, what you're doing, and laws and regulations are always changing. What about sovereignty? When you're doing this right here, this change here that reflects what you're able to do in this location. Deploy to common chat channels like web, apps, social channels, and Teams, Microsoft Teams. Making sure businesses that are running on Teams with the Copilot, you have put some note in there. You have some new change that has came across. Maybe there's a new person, maybe there's a new tool that's been added, a new app, and being able to make sure that across your organization, that implementation or whatever you added is able to be known by everyone in real time, and that the show must go on. It doesn't interrupt anything. Take a look at the images that are before you. A clean interface. We take a look. The color schemes that have been added have been put in there so that you can also see the importance, but not too broad in your face. There's been significant research to make sure that this is not just appealing to the eye, but psychologically can help you be able to move forward and interpret the data that is right in front of you. What is Copilot Studio? Key concepts: predefine paths that orchestrate the flow or conversational dialogues. What are the topics? The topics, being able to get right there. It doesn't become convoluted. Data sources searched by generative AI to create relevant responses. Knowledge, the information. Cannot move without knowledge. Otherwise, there's chaos. Automated tasks that can be initiated by an agent. The actions, being able to move. What good is it if you cannot act upon the knowledge that you get from the topics? Our channels. So, deployment options for making your published agent available to the users. If they can't access it, what good is it? You got to have those channels that are set, those that are available for you. Your metrics and data to access agent performance and your user satisfaction. When you finish with this masterclass, when you finish with this webinar, there will be information that you'll be able to provide, and that analytics, that information, that data is used by Netcom to not only make things better and refine, but to make sure that everyone else, and as this continue to receive pertinent information, that you can make it as best and refined as possible, not just this broad or bland way to give you information, feed you this, or sometimes when I come and cover some other classes for other people, hey, I was fire hose with information. Did you learn the information? One of the key things for me for teaching, one of the importance is making sure that you know the information. You didn't memorize something, but you actually know what you're doing. You learn what you're doing. What is Copilot Studio? Creating an agent. Let's take a look. Select the environment in which to create the agent. We look at the interface, and I love how the lines are indicating where you'll go to. Take a look. Describe the desired agent features and capabilities in a chat interface. We look at where we'll put that prompt, where we'll put that information in there so that we can be able to make that and refine it and create a great product, create something that we understand. Select a template for common agent implementations, pardon me. One of my favorite parts about that, and a lot of the different things when code, when I would write code, I love to be able to make code and be able to present it. There's something when a client would hire me to write some type of code for them. One of the things back in the day was, how do I explain it? How do I show them what I did? And then you have to make sure that um, hey, we do have unscrupulous people at these times, and have how can it be understood for everyone to understand what was built and the parameters that were set that's inside of there. Now remember, this is Copilot Studio, so there is the guardrails that are put in there. There's also the latest, greatest, what's best as this code is being put together to make sure that whatever you're designing is streamed to not have some dated type of execution of the code. This is always going to be refined. There are people working 24/7 to make sure that the code works in its best stability. Create a new agent in Copilot Studio. So new Copilot, we look at our new agent, create, pretty easy. You look at the design, the phase, and look at how the flow goes, where you can be able to go and take a look at what you need to put in and implement. Take a second to look at the interface. Install a managed agent preview, new Copilot action. Start with a template. We're looking at awards and recognition, document processor preview, employee self-service agent and factory operations preview, factory safety preview, financial reconciliation preview, leave management, store operations, wellness check, safe travels, provides answers to common travel questions and related health and safety guidelines. Obviously, your website Q&A instantly answer user questions using the content of your website or other knowledge. AI and machine learning and customer service built in together. The IT help desk empowers employees to resolve issues and effortlessly create and view support tickets. Those who have been in business or working, how how was the pipeline stopped with having IT support tickets, not knowing where they are in the process of the support tickets, not knowing how far you should go before you may mess something up and things have to stop. There have been cases that I've seen where a business was shut down for a whole day because they did not know where the team was, and having that ability to have everything in flow in time and be synchronized to make things work more efficiently. Now we create an agent dialogue. Name and describe the agent. Name your agent. Select icon. Describe the purpose of your agent. Provide instructions for your agent. Select the language. Yes, remember, this is global, this is worldwide. And even those systems that you may have, or those offsites, or you have a global connection that's set together. No need to worry about that as you used to in the past. Add knowledge sources. One of the key things, one of the introductory certifications that I teach, and when I get ready to start teaching some students for this new project that I'm going to work with Netcom, is making sure the knowledge sources, real world understanding. Things do not stay the same. Things are added. Being able to have that information, that intelligence there, so that you can work with what is the latest things that are happening and how do things work. Again, let's take a look at this interface here. We look, very clean interface to be able to add any of the information that you need. We look here, give your custom agent the descriptive name so it's easy to identify. You can change this later if you need to. Any of you remember putting something in, it's static, it's stuck in there, you got to change it. Maybe you have to rebuild something. I remember different things where I would have to go in and write a particular script to add something different into there. And then I have to make sure that that script that I just wrote doesn't change or alter later on because of other different products or services or whatever the case may be that comes along. Now you have this. Makes it so much easier. Our description, take a look here. Use your own words to describe what your agent should help with, including your audience and end goal, being able to tie those in. Not the generic words, not that general, but being able, this needs to work with this and how this goes, and how to refine certain things that need to happen. Your instructions, direct the behavior of the agent, including its task and how it completes them. So we have this right here with your description, which becomes a strong and connecting and powerful order of operations of what you want to happen, but you have extra to build and refine and to just the icing on the cake. Your starter prompts suggest ways of starting conversations for Teams and Microsoft 365 channels. Need help? You have your Learn More button right here. Your hyperlink to be able to get there and to understand this, to understand all of the tools, how you can go and make this more refined for you guys and have that. It is amazing. I cannot emphasize how you are supposed to be using this right now. All right. Our training will resume shortly. Microsoft Copilot Studio Masterclass, Future of AI Agents. So right now, I would like you to take a chance, take a time, I'm sorry, to scan the QR code, follow the steps to redeem your courseware and digital achievement certificate from Microsoft, and redeem your courseware and your certificate. So we will take a quick 5-minute break, and then we will resume. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Um, through this throughout this break, I my mind and just reminiscing and going through all the companies and seeing the before and afters of those who have been able to implement and integrate Microsoft Copilot into their business and the success stories. I want you to take a minute and think about how this would enhance your business, how this would enhance your career and your knowledge. This is what is utilized now. Think about those who are, I know this is a lot before many of the participants' time, but think about those who received a class like this and they were told that, hey, you need to integrate the internet into your business. And some of the skepticism that they had, and had they moved to add the internet into their business, had they added that into their skill set, where they would have been. There are so many companies, so many people who fell by the wayside because they did not seize the opportunity. They didn't seize the time that they had right in front of them. So make sure that you take a look at that. History tells you. All right, let's continue. So, our knowledge sources, connectors, Microsoft Copilot connectors augment Microsoft Search to ground agent responses. Again, look at this interface and the clarity there. Take a quick peek at the color schemes that have been added to make sure that it's not just this bland base base thing, but you have this look. The ability to upload the file gives you the further instructions. Public websites, SharePoint, Azure AI search, Dataverse, Dynamic 365, Salesforce, now ServiceNow, Azure SQL. Looking at this for right now, you know the importance, the value that this has. Building effective topics. Now, making sure that you identify your topics. List all scenarios. Take the time to make sure that you have all the scenarios that are tied into what you're doing, what your business provides, how you'll utilize this. And one of my businesses that I own is managed services and managed cybersecurity services. So those are two different things. So for instance, I need to provide basically IT support, right? I'm providing IT support for this HVAC company. This company has this and all of these things that work with it. But with HVAC systems, there are some that are just almost fully automated. Now, let's not get it wrong. The HVAC systems have a computerized system that are always running with that, whether it's a residential thermostat or whatever the case may be, right? But making sure that that thing that it can work. There are some systems that are monitored remotely, and being able to list all those scenarios that work from there. There are some systems that have to be completely independent because they're part of some security based system, and there has to be a fail safe, a neutral thing that happens without giving into any more detail. But I'm giving you real world scenarios, real world understanding of utilizing this, not just bland, just reading and giving you just a whole bunch of data, but understanding that I am, as your presenter, giving you those real world scenarios, how you can have that. And the scenario would be, okay, well, this is a HVAC system. It has to provide a cooling system for a small server room. not a big data center, but for a server room, and making sure it maintains that. Now, if there are particularly hot days or the weather has changed here, some system went down or the power consumption, there was a problem with that. We still have to make sure that the server room maintains what it needs to do and how that needs to work, and making sure that those core functions. In some instances, for for this particular scenario, some of the workforce to lower the load, non-essential, were able to go home, and then or some were able to team up together and work on systems together instead of having their own separate systems. Listing all those scenarios that would work in place for that, and having that in place. By having that together, the HVAC company doesn't think about the IT scenarios or how that can work. It's just making sure that all of the things are working. But this particular way and that scenario that I was able to present to them were able so that teams could aggregate and others can go home for the day or take a long extended break, so that the workload and power consumption and that business continuity was still able to be maintained throughout the business, was something essential. They didn't have to shut down. There was no need for the panic. There was already a plan in place to make sure that if this scenario happened, this is how you would work it. Design a high level conversation tree to make sure that how does this work across the different domains that you have, the different departments, and how does this take place so that the AI itself can go and how it can um, interpret and be able to provide assistance and guidance here that obviously is going to be different from a different department. The design solutions, pardon me. The design, how is that design all set up for you? Before, it would take time, multiple meetings, putting this together. This team puts this together, then this team puts this together, this team puts this together. They come, they try to connect some dots, then they go back, try to connect some dots, put this together. Now you have a more automated and seamless process. Validate and iterate on the design. You have to validate, does this work efficiently with this business, with this side, and here? Real world scenarios. I had it was a sales department, and this was a mechanical place not too far from where I live, actually. And this place, the actual mechanical place where they worked, there was a disconnect between the sales department and what was going on with the actual place where the servicing and all the work was being done, and it caused a calamity where the whole thing went down for that day, and they had to shut down. The company I was working for, I was starting in my career, and we got brought into there to make sure that we can put that back together, and so that they could connect to make sure that things would work. And as we got that workflow and that process working, we had to validate and iterate on the design, and so they have a platform of how things should run so that this would not happen again. All right. Now, identify the topic. Focus on building relevant topics. Consider customer inquiries and their impact. Create topics based on customer needs. Understand both sides of the conversation. In business, one of the problems that tends to arise is there are a lot of people that will have the business side that's set up. How does your service affect the customer? What you are doing, what you are providing, what everything contains, how you're able to make sure that the customer's needs are met, how you fulfill all the different things that the customer has available, or what the customer wants. Isn't it about what they want? Repeat customers. Understand both sides. But there's also that part about what we have in a lot of business operations is you'll have different pardon me, you'll have different departments that have different needs in order to provide the best services, to be able to provide the best things available for the customers. And so you need to be able to understand what those customers were actually looking for, what those customers actually need. Design a high level conversation tree. Take a minute to take a look at this. All right, so we browse our products, right? We look at where we have what we have set aside. Let's start back here. Our price adjustment, address, coupon shipment, order cancellation, fraud check, order confirmation, back order, and cancellation. Being able to make sure that your product count, everything is set up and set there. This is not some rudimentary process that you're running, but that you have everything available. Refund, shipment, return, exchange, your pricing, your checkout, delivery, post sale, your tax, price adjustment. We have to stay competitive, right? There are times years ago where a company had to just stop the movement of that product because they couldn't change the price on the fly. Payment, change, cancel order, address validation. Remember our security, making sure that from fraud, from all those implementations, companies move. What about a company that has multiple locations? How does that look to send the product to the wrong? It's the right company, but the wrong location. The warranty and order status. Find products, special products, gift cards, fees, time frame. Find a promotion, price match, member benefits. Now, everywhere we go now, we see those member benefits that are tied into there. This is now just a regular part of our things now that we have. Tax calculation, payment methods, shipping address, and billing addresses. Now, our tax calculations, don't we have different tax calculations based upon the location? You can be within the same state, the same province, the same territory, and the taxes can be calculated completely different. Core tool types: pre-built connector action, custom connector action, the agent flow, and of course the prompt. And you have so much more that you can have built into here. Now, a key thing that I want you to understand, and I want you to relax your mind and think about this. You have everything that you need built into there, but you have all of these features. A lot of times you can become overwhelmed because you have too many choices. One of the things that makes this so great is that you have the ability to be able to look at what you have and make sure that, okay, I have this, this, and this, and then you set it up. Now you can go into all of the extra features, all of the extra things that you can bring on board to your service product, to your workflow, everything, and then add that to tweak those systems to make it better. And then also, as I always do, get surprised about how you can make things so much better. Use agent flows as tools in Copilot Studio. Simplify automation for your agent. Refine the agent. You have the tool and you're using it now that you became familiar because you went and you received the training. Now you get the chance to be able to look at, well, now I understand this. I got this training from Netcom. I know how this works. Hey, how can I make this tool better? Not just going to this, but everybody, each one of us have our own style. Each one of us have our own way of doing things. With this and having this tool, it keeps it at you have that foundation as I spoke of from the beginning, but you have your way to be able to make it work more easier for you. We look we take a look at the interface. I'm going through here and I'm looking at, and when I'm teaching, obviously I excel at this, but I also am able to put my mind as I am someone who this is the first time that I'm seeing this. How does this look for me? Is it too complicated? Obviously, you have to have plenty of information, plenty of options in there, but notice that it's not overtly just a mass amount of things to click on. You have different distinctive tools and things to go through to be able to have that and add that into it. Automate tasks with structure and consistency. Utilize AI driven intelligence to handle complex scenarios. Your tools tab, add a tool, and new agent flow. Things have been added. One of the ways that this has worked, there's been mergers, there's been different things, there have been acquisitions from other businesses that have been added, or a new service or product that has been tied into a company, and having this tool available to be able to use this now. A test panel. Ask questions or describe what you need and then view the results. Let's take a look at the interface. I love this right here. Next, try giving me some more knowledge by setting up generative AI. Those of you listening now, how many times have you been in a meeting? There's a set time, and you know your stuff. You've been working on this maybe for a decade. You know how this works. Yeah, there's this generic way of how something works, but you are the subject matter expert of this. You know how this works. You know how to make these things much better for the outcomes and how you can tie these things in together. You are that person that should be able to add that information in there. Well, why not? You have this here. Now you can add those particulars to different things that work. One particular way that this was implemented in real world, basically, I love and I am so grateful to have the experience to give that to you. Something as small as a screw. There were certain screws that were made of a certain alloy that if you use this screw, they had a shorter shelf life or they had a different resistance in there. And the subject matter expert, I say, the person doesn't consider themselves that, but they knew this and they're looking at the long term of what they have to put together and what they had to build, and that they were able to add that information without any added things, any added time, but just hey, what can we make? How can we make this better? Who knows this and that, and put that into there to have that work, and they can order the right product and make sure the right product was used for that particular for that particular product, that particular project, I should say. Publish, share with others. What good is it? You have this, you've done this, it works great, but nobody knows. And then across companies, one of the biggest issues and one of the things that have been poisonous to organizations have been silos. Information is over here, but this department doesn't have this information. And the destruction and the problems and all that I've seen in there, starting my consulting career, going into companies, trying to make sure that they have this, and the tutelage and the training that I've received from um, some of the organizations that I've worked for, and one particular was seeing and watching them in in place. And one of the main things that I've seen throughout my career is one department, set of people have this information, and not everyone else has this, and it's not shared. Next, we get to demo the website. Demo it. Make sure that it does work as you've built it. How does this work? And be able to put that to side, put that together and work. And then, oh, okay, we forgot this. Hey, this works perfectly. Let's add this here. Nothing is. I love being able to test things, be able to check it out, work on it, and then being able to think about how I can make it better, how we can make it better. Make the agent available on channels so that everyone takes a look at that. You've heard that phrase, let's get a fresh set of eyes on it. How does this look with this department? How does this work with this? Another company that I own um, deals with particularly sales, right? So my company runs with sales. Early on, when that company is one of the oldest companies I've owned, and I made everything so tech. Everything was so tech, and I'm a big space guy. In the '80s, I'm sorry, not in the '80s, in the '90s, the late '90s, people, the late '90s, I worked in aerospace, and we dealt with space, and things were going through there, and I put all that into the sales and all of that. That was not what everyone was looking for. But to me, it was the most amazing thing. But the salespeople took a look and like, no, this is not what people are looking at. This was not what they wanted. And by them being able to look at it, put their input, and add their changes, it changed the business overnight. I'm sitting there worrying about, well, how come I'm not getting any sales? Well, everything looks like something from some science fiction movie. That is why I wasn't getting sales. The sales department made it relevant for that particular time, for that you how that should work, and then making it more um, user friendly. Different things that I had. I had too many complicated things. To me, as a technical person, it was like, okay, what's the problem? That is not how things work. And that is not how your clients will see things either, which is why Copilot works to make sure that that part that was there and the research and the meetings and the teams and how they put that together and the AI makes that problem go away, and then vice versa on the other side to make it a lot easier for the technical side of your team to be able to go and implement whatever they need to do. And last but not least, the stakeholders that are have all this invested in this, they can look at it if they want to, and it's not just this big technical thing with all this technical jargon and all this, that they have the opportunity to take a look at it. The C level, they can look at this without having to go and have a dictionary and every Gen AI right next to them to interpret all the what's going on with it. Not anymore. You have this available. Make sure that you're utilizing it. Our channels deploy to Microsoft Teams. I love the integration of having that with Microsoft Teams. You're doing all this work, you have all this that is going on, you're putting in notes, you're having these meetings, you have um, video sharing, you're tying this in together. You should have all this working together. You got your options to control the appearance of the agent itself. Loving that. Next, we controls how a user can install the agent into a Microsoft Teams team. So we look at our natural language copilot, our overview, knowledge, the topics, actions, analytics, and the channels. Publish copilot status. Verify or modify the availability of your copilot. Again, look over here, demo the website. Our channels, configure your Copilot channels to meet your customers where they are. We have had different times where you went through a project, you're providing all this for your clients, you're going through this, and then now you're going to the next client. And not bring what you brought from behind there back to here. You have to make sure that you have the ability to make sure that you can start fresh, but you can use all of the principles or whatever you want to use from that last client, but you have it available to make sure that you can um, go and work specifically for that client. When I'm training students and I'm teaching multiple certifications, they'll have this certification and they finished it, and then they go to the next certification. I have to make sure that their mind is more clear. You can take the foundational things that you learn, but you go here because the acronym for this certification is different, means something different in this particular certification. Or acronyms or different things may mean different things for certain other aspects. I'm teaching a network certification or something there, but then I'm teaching coding. I'm teaching them teaching them software. Well, that means something different in software, and we have to be able to distinguish. Now, instead of having to just have this neurological understanding and being able to differentiate, you have the AI that becomes that assistive tool to make sure that you can go and you can provide that different different step and different level from there so that you can customize from your channels. Telephony, Microsoft Teams, demo website, custom website. Yes, yes, yes. The mobile app. And of course, your social media to have that Facebook marketing and all of that tied into there. It's a great tool. Your Teams channel. Turn on Teams. Connects agent to Teams. Microsoft Team, nothing can stop a team. And now your Copilot can help you achieve more together. To open lines of communication, select Turn on Teams. After a quick installation, your users and Copilot can start chatting. And here, you have the ability to learn more. Note that certain Copilot content may not appear the same on Microsoft Teams as it was authored in Microsoft Copilot Studio. Now, for details, refer to our article on the supported channel content. Instead of just giving you a blank statement that's there, you have something to be able to click on to learn more and to have that ability to learn and to learn how these things work. Training is efficient. As I've done plenty of these webinars, one thing that sometimes can be cringeworthy is how a company will just throw a person into this, hey, do this, and they did not get the training on how these things work. You need to know how to work your tool. Would you, hey, I see this person over here. I like this person. Hey, I need you to fly the plane. They have no training whatsoever on how to fly a plane. Why would they not have training on how to run these processes, these tools, Microsoft Copilot? Making sure that you have the training makes all the sense in the world. Agent added to Teams. Customize the appearance of the agent. Customize it. Icon, the color, and the description. Copilot will appear. Select Edit Details to modify. Once you're ready, select Availability Options to continue. Again, you got that Learn More to be able to add into there. You're not just stuck. You have that statement and you go there, but you'll have those. You're not the only ones who are going. You're not the only person who's going to have those questions or this. So to have that streamline, the Copilot preview, we see our natural language Copilot built using Microsoft Copilot Studio. Our edit details, Open Copilot, and disconnect from Teams. Yes, being able to have that, go back and work on it, provide this, look at this. You may want to have the team look at it and give you some input and then bring it back. Whatever your use case is or whatever the process that you're utilizing, you have that available. Share. Collaborative authoring, testing. The natural language copilot. Let's look at our titles here: overview, knowledge, topics, actions, analytics, channels. The publish date, publish. Our settings that we have here. Your copilot is ready. Here's what's next. What is available in there? Add actions so your copilot can do things for you. Build topics to focus and guide how your copilot answers. Publish your copilots so others can use it. Netcom Learning AI Credentials Accelerator. So you demonstrate your skills that drive impact in the AI era. What you'll take away: a clear view of Microsoft credentials, a clear view. What's new for business professionals, how certifications and applied skills work together, the steps you earn and share. Having this set and this ability and the knowledge to be able to utilize this, you have this powerful tool. You saw the simplicity of it, and I wanted to make sure that I emphasize the simplicity to make sure that, hey, this is not some overwhelming tool that's going to boggle you down, that you're going to have to invest all this amount of time into here. This is not a long period of time, and you have excellent training from experts to be able to present this to you. But one of the key things to make sure that you keep in mind, you learn this and learn the seamless tool, but you have a worldwide array of tools that you can add onto this. You don't have to just utilize the cookie cutter method for this, but you have everything at your disposal to enhance all of the things to make what you're doing the best possible. This is the key thing for this Microsoft Copilot, that you have that. It's of ease of use, but you have everything in there to build it to be this paramount service product or whatever you need to utilize this for. This is Microsoft Copilot. You're probably watching this webinar now, probably on a Microsoft device. You're going through, and you know the workstations throughout the world are what? Set on Microsoft systems, the Copilot, working with teams, making sure that all of that is integrated, that that works. When you get off work, having that ability to not worry about did this get done, did that happen, was this department made aware of this, are these tools available for use for everyone that needs to utilize the tools? You have to make sure that things are best the best way when you leave work. I know every place that I've worked throughout the decades, that is the thing. And then earlier in my career, the worries were, did I finish this? Did everyone get this? Did I remember to send this? Does everyone have access to what they need to have access to? Working in different things, working for companies, owning my multiple businesses, what makes things work seamlessly? I often get that question. It is utilizing tools like this. It seems like it's this far fetched, or you have this, there are no mind games that are going through, or no um, crazy telekinesis or some sci-fi thing. No, I'm utilizing these tools. That is how I'm able to run 5 businesses and be able to work efficiently to teach classes for netcom learning, to be able to provide these webinars, and also go out to do the work, not just have the employees go through there, but I love to get the hands on, because I believe passionately and efficiently that it makes me much better to be able to teach to you, to be able to give you real world understanding, because I didn't just do it, but it's not a past tense thing, that I actually do the work. When I finish today, this afternoon, I will be doing work. I will be building a system connecting AI systems together, and then later on, making sure that the co-pilot is implemented into this small business. So this is not something that is reading off a script or a PowerPoint. I'm presenting you with how things work and how this works around the world and why you should do it. AI is changing how work gets done. Roles and workflows are changing fast. Skills must be visible and verified. Human ambition and the agents. You have to have the knowledge to be able to do and work with what you have available. AI is AI, AI is here. Sometimes I'm at places that are not technical, but personal places, and I'll hear certain friends and even some family members that's like, AI is the future. Like, AI is not the future. That's like saying water is the future. No, we've been drinking water since the beginning of time. Well, AI hasn't been there since the beginning of time, but it is set and a part of our lives, whether you want it, whether you don't, doesn't matter. It is there, and you have to understand and learn that. As I've indicated before, I remember when the internet was implemented into business, and there were those that kind of put it to the wayside, and some of the different people. I've ran into different people. I went many years ago. Went home. I remember a person who was thriving in business, very much so, and seeing them and growing up, and their business was a part of my life as a adolescent, growing up, and they went out of business because they did not integrate the internet into their business, and boom, they were gone. And on a personal level, I had a business a few decades ago, and it was a more impersonal in-person business. I didn't integrate the internet into there, or take into consideration that the products would become more available there and more convenient, and that business was shuttered. So I'm not speaking to you just as someone that's seen someone else went through this, but as someone who, from that aspect of understanding how technology changed the way business is done, but as someone who actually went completely through this. A business that I had for almost a decade was shuttered and was stopped within a matter of a year because of not implementing in the internet or technology into this. Now, with that same understanding, understand that this is the same way that AI is to businesses, to individuals now. Those career changes that went through there. Another person that I personally knew, an associate who worked and they did their jobs and they had this, and the internet became, they're like, okay, well, you need to integrate internet skills or take some technical classes to learn so that you can keep your job. And what happened? The job was gone. They're there. There's a gentleman that I just spoke with last week. He is now utilizing and getting some of this training. And as I told him, he has to implement the Copilot to understand because he was recently let go of a company. And had he had this available, it would have made things so much more efficient for what he was doing. And let's face it, how um, productive, what you provide, what you can bring to a company means everything. You can be the nicest, greatest person in the world, but what do you bring to the company? And then as a company, what do you bring to the clients to be able to make the money to make your business viable? The understanding that AI is changing how work gets done and having that set in there and having a strong, you have piles and piles of everyone jumping on the AI bandwagon, and I have this AI too, and I have this AI too, and I have this and that. But you have Microsoft Copilot. The name Microsoft itself is set standard. You're not worried about the company being here today and going tomorrow. You're not worried about the company not having the ability to face the nuances and the challenges of everything that's related to business that needs to be done and to be able to fulfill what you have available, to be able to have those questions. Well, as we've been going through this master class, this webinar, you see that it's not just a statement, but you're able to learn more and have that information right at your fingertips. Skills are optional; they're essential. You're having that set in place. 60%, 66% of leaders won't hire without AI proficiency. I it was it was something else a few years ago when I was teaching other different certifications, and I was learning AI, implementing it, and even for my learning, I I sit here before you right now, and I can tell you, had it not been for AI, my career would have been different. Had I would still be in tech, I believe. I would go through and I was proficient. I was moving forward, and actually, you have to have that. But I started using AI early to learn, to go through, to check. I knew something, but to have that there. Um, in college, early, I one of the classes was to make a bot, and I'm like, okay, this is great. I told you earlier as a kid, I already the AI and everything. Well, how can I enhance this bot to help me here? And how can I enhance it to be learn more? And how can I make it understand this more and go through? And I would go away from it and come back. But as I started learning and I started going to school when I was basically pushed to go to school, and then I found out this is what I was here for. The AI, the more I learned in the AI and the proficiency to understand the logic, how AI understands and it wants to completely efficiently get this done and the steps and steps and work through here, I started attaining so many certifications, so much knowledge, so many things, and so much time. My company, one of my companies normally takes a group, a lot of people. I was able to streamline that efficiently, be able to make it work, and then put the company and make it global, where companies are spending tons of money to be able to do that. I was able to make it work. Right now, the company is working now while I'm providing this webinar, this masterclass to you because of my AI proficiency and being able to utilize this and help to address problems early, make processes. Things work by processes, not winging it. You can't, the competition is too steep, and you have to have that knowledge there. We have everything available on the internet. You can go do this and that. But what do you need to know and what don't you need to know? When I'm teaching some of the certifications, sometimes I would have students say that. So I've asked them questions. Right now, I still have questions that I use to set up for when I get students like that. Well, how does this work? What's hearsay? What is something that's trending that's not true pertaining to this certification for this AI? What is detrimental and what is now a necessity that you will need? Grow your career with Microsoft credentials, build, apply, improve skills. When you have those Microsoft credentials, do you have to have this? Hey, have you guys heard of Microsoft? I got the credentials and I'm certified in this or that. No, no, you don't have to worry about that. You know that right now. Take a second to really think about that. A lot of you that are on here right now have different certifications from different certification bodies. And I'm not putting a hierarchy or this and that. Most of my certifications are on a different body than Microsoft, so I'm speaking there. But from a hierarchy standpoint and from a global holistic point, how strong do how strong does Microsoft credentials stand? The skills: build practical job ready skills and develop teams fluent in AI, cloud, security, and business solutions from beginner to expert. Too many times we had this where you had to have this to be this technical acumen to be able to even dip your toe into this. Not anymore. Now you're the beginner. You want to learn this. You want to get this into there. Think of those that are on here that are the stakeholders. You're making the decisions, or you have to present this to your company, to your team. They're thinking about the cost basis of it. They're thinking about, oh, this is going to take such a long time for you to get this training. No, as a beginner, this is it already has a setup to make sure that it can present that as a beginner, that you can go and start from there and acquire the skills in a rapid pace, not rushing through it, but you actually learn it and then you're able to utilize it and able to do the work and able to make use of all of the things that you're learning. You ever ran into someone that knows all the subject matters? They can answer questions, but they can't do it. Throughout my teaching career, I've met many instructors, trainers, and professors. They can tell you everything practical and there, and but you provide it to them. Can they do it? Can they work? That is one of the things that has been a significant problem. And you put it to the fire that's fair. What kind of nightmare would it be where you have this person who can tell you all the terms and all this, but when it comes to utilizing or doing something, they can't. You have practical things where you can work as far as skills and be able to have the practice to do this, you practice doing it before you actually did it. You didn't just read this, you didn't just memorize some things. Go take a certification and pass that certification, and then I am an expert and I know this. Pardon the display of that with the voice, but I get that. And then it's time to do the work and be in the field and provide that, and you don't have it. You know as well as I know that that will destroy your career, that will poison your company, and you can't hide that. You either have the skills or you don't. And you need the validation. Earn Microsoft verified credentials that provide a trusted signal of ability, making sure that you have that, making sure that it's validated. And the impact, gain recognition, help leaders identify skill gaps, and keep teams aligned and competitive. You can't rest on your laurels. I have colleagues that have certifications that are older, and they may revise this and there, but you have to continue. The world does not wait for you. Business does not wait for you. Your career does not wait for you. What you did yesterday, what you did the day before, what you did a year ago, what you have now does not truly have that, because things keep moving fluidly. You have something available with Microsoft that continuously builds into what the current day-to-day operations that makes businesses run around the world. New business focused credentials. Applied skills and certification. Microsoft Applied Skills streamline business workflows with AI chat. You take a minute to think about that. And those of you who've been working in business for a while, do you remember before there was a chat? How would this work? Think before you're working on something and then you stop. What do? You go to another page, you bring this up, you go here, you call a colleague, you call different people. Well, now you have the AI chat. Microsoft Applied Skills generate reports with AI research agents. The certifications: Microsoft Certified AI Business Professional, Microsoft Certified AI Transformation Leader. So, short on demand credentials that highlight AI fluency using Microsoft 365 Copilot and Researcher Agent across everyday workflows. Certifications designed for non technical roles. Put that note in your, write that note down there. Those of you who have to bring that back to your organization, use cases and so forth, put that in there. Validate AI fluency, strengthen collaboration with Microsoft 365 Copilot, and lead responsible AI strategy across your organization. Industry recognized Microsoft certification, role based credentials. 63% of professionals received or expected a job promotion after earning a certification. Let's just put that out there. Comprehensive, earned by passing an exam that reflects key job responsibilities and tasks. Key job responsibilities. Your growth, support all stages of career with fundamentals, associate, expert, and specialties, pardon me, specialty. Obviously, you can see the excitement or feel the excitement and the sincerity in my voice. Renew eligible certifications annually at no cost by completing a short online assessment. That is one of the most amazing things that the body can have. And because of how powerful and how big the company and the unit is, you can have that availability. Shareable, showcase your globally recognized certification on social platforms like LinkedIn. Demonstrate ability to use Microsoft technologies in real world scenarios. More than 60% of organizations highlight micro credentials like Microsoft Applied Skills, let them test and validate real world technical skills. Practical. Earn by completing a series of tasks through an interactive lab based assessment. Flexible, short, skill specific, and available on demand. Align maps to role based certifications, includes beginner and intermediate levels. Shareable, share your credential on social platforms like LinkedIn to highlight your skills. Two credential types. One outcome, job ready skills. Microsoft credentials, you got technical and you got business. We look at our applied. Take a look at the bottom. We have our beginner, intermediate, fundamentals, associate, expert, specialty. Designed to complement each other. So our certification role based, the fundamentals, associate, expert, specialty, your audience, technical, business. We look at our Azure administrator. All we need. Applied skills, scenario based, beginner, intermediate, audience, technical, and business. Business professional credential journey. Our certification, Microsoft certified AI business professional. And we take a look in parentheses, we see that's in beta, but it's working. That's what I always state when I'm speaking. That is not something that is just set and then go away, but it's always continually to make things better and to add additional features. Applied skills, Microsoft applied skills, streamline business workflows with AI chat. Microsoft applied skills, generate reports with AI research agents. Steps to earn your credential: prep. Prepare with self paced or instructor led training. Number two, earn your credential by passing the exam or scenario based assessment. Number three, share your Microsoft verified credentials with your employees, your employers, or your peers. Applied skills. So the self-paced learning path aligned to applied skills, instructor-led training through certified trainers, study guides, scenario overview, and checklists. Certification prep. Again, self-paced or instructor-led training. Practice assessments. We're available. So you have your study guides, exam prep course videos, and readiness resources. Now we have our AI credentials accelerators. We have here our QR code. Fill out a quick survey to unlock your certificate of completion. I hope that allocated everyone enough time to take a look at this. AI credentials accelerator, share a testimonial to get 20% off on Microsoft AI and Copilot courses. Take a look at the courses. Here's your other QR code.
Thank you so much, Ronald. Just to add for all the participants here, so this QR code is going to lead you to the same feedback form But as part of that form, you'd find a particular question that is asking about your opinion about today's session. How was your experience? And there is a checkbox that you agree to use your feedback as a testimonial, and we'll get back to you with more formal communication on the same. But as a token of appreciation for you sharing out the good word about Netcom Learning and Microsoft, this entire training experience as part of the AI Credentials Accelerator program, uh, we are giving you a 20% exclusive discount on the standard pricing on all of these list of courses from AB 900, which is an introduction to Microsoft 365 and AI administration, all the way to courses around prompting. So there is MS 4004, 4018, which really deep dives into the specifics on the art and science of prompting, the best practices, the different use cases, as well as the newly launched business professional and the business leader, the non-technical certifications that Ronald really touched upon recently in the prior slides, which is on driving AI transformation in your organization and transforming business workflows with generative AI. Thank you so much, Ronald.
Thank you so much. And thank you. This is an amazing product. I hope you had the time to go through the QR code and utilize those discounts. Now we will get into our questions.
Awesome. I will be reading out the questions for you, Ronald, and then you can take it up and go ahead with the answers. There are a lot of questions that we have received from our participants today. Due to time purposes, I'm going to just maybe narrow it down to 3 or 5 questions at most, and then we will proceed. So, the very first question is from John. How can Copilot Studio agents be integrated with existing business workflows?
Excellent question. Agents connect through Power Automate flows and connectors, making it easy to embed automation into daily business processes. That is the way you would do that,
Awesome.
right?
The next question is from Wendy, and she is asking, what's the role of analytics in improving agent performance?
That's another great question. Analytics track user satisfaction, dialogue success, and usage trends, helping refine topics and actions for better outcomes. That is how that works.
Okay.
Next question.
Tim is asking, how do custom connectors extend Copilot Studio capabilities?
Well, custom connectors allow agents to access external systems or APIs, enabling tailored solutions beyond built in Microsoft services.
Awesome. The next question is from Jim. He is asking, what's the advantage of deploying agents across multiple channels?
Well, multiple channel deployment ensures users can interact with agents in teams. You know, teams are connected with everyone and having that access there. Web
Mhm.
apps or social platforms, even increasing accessibility. This is the main thing that you have available.
Awesome. And last but not the least, Letitia is asking, how do agent flows simplify complex scenarios?
Agent flows provide structured automation, combining AI driven intelligence with consistency to handle multi step or advanced tasks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all of those responses. Ronald, I will quickly take over for a quick walkthrough of the event handout that we have prepared for all the participants today. And just to reiterate, today's session was really a high level overview of what's the true potential of Copilot agents that can be created, the AI agents that can be created with the power and the might of Microsoft Copilot Studio. And trust me, we are just barely scratching the surface. Of course, today's session is was a master class, so it's a complimentary 2 hour session. But of course, there are dedicated hands-on deep dives available with hands-on labs, in fact, that you can really go in depth and really try out and build your practical skills while really implementing what you learn theoretically. So there are some great courses available, and a lot of those courses, the discounts that we are offering today as part of the testimonial offering, there are these great courses that are kind of covered as part of that uh, of overall offering. So I'll quickly go ahead and share my screen so everyone can take a look at what our options are with respect to the handout. What's the value that you can find over here? I'll quickly go ahead and share my screen. I hope my screen is visible and everyone is able to see this. Okay, so in the event handout that you would be receiving with as part of today's session, it's mapped on your GoToWebinar portal. It's also going to be shared via email with all the participants today, along with the session recording. So yes, we saw a popular question and query was, is this session being recorded? Yes, the session is absolutely being recorded, and it would be available on demand. For on-demand access for you to revisit the content that has been covered today within the next 24 to 48 hours, and the link will be shared via your email IDs. On this handout, you'd see a couple of interesting documentation and insights. But to start the document, you'd find this really exciting graphics that really showcases what we are and who we are and what do we stand for. So Netcom Learning is the instructor-led training division of the overall Cerner AI readiness ecosystem. It's a unified ecosystem for AI readiness with everything under one umbrella. Whatever is your requirement or wherever you are in your AI transformation adoption journey, whether you're looking at growing personally or you are looking at growing your entire team or your entire organization, we have solutions and capabilities to cater to your specific needs. With Adoptify AI, that's our adoption services arm, wherein you get guided assessment on where does your AI fluency lie, what's your AI strategy look like, what's the ROI that you can possibly look at as you are looking, especially with deploying these AI tools into your ecosystem, be it Copilot, be it Fabric, anything that you are really working with. How do you assess the ROI on it? How do you assess the adoption rate? And how do you really scale that to the extent that you really need to for your business purposes? That's where Adoptify AI comes into the picture. To complement, excuse me, sorry for that. To complement the Microsoft certifications that we already have, in order to really fine tune it to your specific roles, maybe something for your specific business unit or your job vertical, we have AI certs, role-based AI certifications, which are aligned to the Microsoft certifications that we just covered today. Of course, we also have N Plus, which is our digital e-learning platform. Also, just a point to note, all of the Microsoft courses, part of the portfolio, everything is covered as part of the e-learning subscription that is N Plus. So if on-demand learning, self-paced learning is your go-to modality of choice, N Plus is the solution for you. Um, a quick word about N Plus. That's something that we've already covered. It has a huge on-demand library. It comes powered with an AI tutor support. It personalizes your learning journey, so it understands what are your learning objectives, where you are in the overall learning path, and then personalizes that learning path for you in order to meet your goals. And it of course comes with anytime, always on access, right? So it's mobile first platform. It's highly mobile friendly. So no matter where you are, whether you are working out, whether you are commuting to work, or whether you are just traveling, right? You can just put on your headphones and start learning with N plus, through the various range of modalities that we offer with videos, ebooks, podcasts, and so much more. With Adoptify AI, we have already kind of covered wherever you are on your journey in terms of adoption. Specifically, if you need guided expertise in terms of figuring out what's the right solution for you and how to really scale that solution within your organization, how to really assess the ROI of that solution when it comes to AI, Adoptify AI is your go-to offering from our end. A very quick word about us, Netcom Learning. We have been in the business for more than 27 years now, having successfully trained over 1 million professionals across 40,000 plus unique enterprises. We have served every industry vertical out there, from financial services and healthcare to federal, state, and local government, education, energy, manufacturing, retail and consumer goods, telecommunications, transportation. So, no matter what your industry vertical is, we have solutions, we have capabilities that can be tailored and customized to fit the specific use cases that really uh, make sense for you and your organization and your team. Of course, we have partnerships with every major vendor out there. So, no matter where your tech ecosystem aligns with, we have the capabilities to support you in your journey. Um, when we are talking about Microsoft in particular, we have been selected by Microsoft as a finalist for the 2025 Partner of the Year. This was our third recognition in the last 4 years. Basically, we were winners two times already, in 2022 and 2023. And this is just a testament of how quality comes first for Netcom Learning as a partner, as a Microsoft training services partner, and that's how we really create the value for our customers as well. And our purpose is, of course, to promote the values of lifelong learning. We believe learning never really stops, it's a continuous journey, and that's how you really keep pace with AI as it keeps evolving every single day. Not long back, we were just talking about generative AI as the big thing, with OpenAI's ChatGPT coming into the play, the Copilot getting launched, and now we are already talking about AI agents. So it keeps evolving, and we need to evolve with it. Um, as promised, the session recording will be available within your handout. The link will be mapped on the handout. Only thing is, it might take a while for the recording to be processed and be really available, but it would be available on the same link that is available on your handout. So just revisit this in the next 24 to 48 hours, and you'd be able to watch the recorded version of today's session. Also, within your handout, you'd find the link to unlock your exclusive Netcom Learning Advantage. As a token of gratitude to all the participants today, we are giving you complimentary access to the official courseware on the related course, or the official course on PL 7008. You get the courseware access through this link. You get to also unlock your digital certificate of achievement there. But if in case you're really interested in getting more hands-on with the labs and everything else, and with the more guided session, which is more extended, right? That we highly recommend you opt for the PL7008 full class with us. You also get access to the Netcom 365 portal, which is our learning hub when it comes to anything and everything Netcom Learning has to offer. Great resources are part of this platform, so we highly recommend that. You'd also find some quick links to some of our resources that we have put together. We have a quick start program, so in case you are a team or an organization just looking to quickly get started in training your team, of course, it only applies for multiple people. But if you even if you're looking at a team of 5 members, 6 members, and it can go as high as 500 to 5,000 members, quick start really gives you that flexibility and that value advantage, because it gives you flat discounted enterprise pricing. Depending on how many learners and how many seats you have the requirement for, the more people you train, the more advantage you get, effectively giving you discounts beyond 50% of the standard retail price. We also have provision for private group training demos. So, in case you have a big team that you really want to explore training on, we recommend you get in touch with our learning consultants and we can schedule a complimentary 2 hour private group training demo exclusive for your team, wherein we can even customize the topic as per your requirement. And of course, for long term uh, best value offering, if you are an enterprise, you're looking to you're looking for a solution that wherein you can just park your entire annual training budget and keep utilizing it for the next 365 days. Learning Passport is the go-to solution wherein you can park your budget and effectively double it depending on how much you are investing. We provide the option to really co-invest. So whatever amount you are investing, Netcom Learning is also going to parallelly invest a specific significant portion of that amount to create that collective fund that you can utilize on flexible training across the year, no matter on which vendor solution you want, no matter which person from your team you want to train, you can continue to train them. It's applicable and redeemable across the entire portfolio that we carry of over 4,000 plus official courses, and it is the best value in the longer run. Of course, some of the recommended courses aligned directly to today's session is MS 400, 4022, 4018, 4023, 4004, and some of the other courses that we had covered. So, with that, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the session. And with that, I'd like to quickly again um, pause on this screen and then thank everyone for joining us today. Hope you had a great session. Looking forward to having you once again soon. Thank you so much.